everyone, I'm Chas, and I am in Fort Collins, Colorado, and we are going to make some things for Halloween today, and these are great things for classroom parties, or if you're going to have kids involved. These are things that a lot of kids should be able to do as well as ourselves as adults. It's fun to do. So while we get started here, why don't you tell me where you're from and where you're watching from, and I'd like to thank Hometalk for having me, and thank you for being here. So as we get started today, we're just going to start with a candle. This is you want something orange, your choice for scents. There are a lot of good choices. There's oranges and whatever. This one happens to be a pumpkin pie one. If the label comes off easy, then you're just going to go ahead and try to get that label off of there. If not, you can leave it because you can use the other side for what we're going to be doing. But that one came off pretty easy. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is, and this would be optional if you want, is I'm just gonna use some brown paint. This happens to be Dixie Belle mineral paint, but you could use acrylic paint or some other things too. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna paint the lid. Now again, this is optional. You wouldn't have to do this step if you don't want to, but I think it adds a little something to the project. So where are we all watching from?
North Carolina, Kansas, Indiana, Vegas, Houston, South Carolina.
Welcome and thank you for being here with us today. Okay, so there we go. I just used brown. You could use whatever color you kind of want. As many coats as you want. Does anyone have a guess? Want to put in the comments a guess as to what I'm going to do with this? I'll give you a second while I pull my other stuff in. All right, so you're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to tip it sideways here, and I just have a black permanent marker. And I'm just going to make a little face on him. If you guessed pumpkin face, you are correct. And if you put your favorite scent of candle in the comments. You can either put, just your favorite scent in general, or if you were going to tell me an orange candle that would be great for this project, feel free to put that in the comments as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could probably put two faces on this, one on the front, one on the back, depending upon where you're going to put something like this. So now the next step would be to either A, wrap a ribbon around it, or B, go with a pipe cleaner. I'm going to go with the pipe cleaner today, and I'm just going to twist it around like this, and I'm going to spin it like that. And then what you can do is take a pencil and just spiral it around like that to give it kind of that vine look. And then you just kind of bend it to the shape you want it to be. And there you go. You just have a really simple candle. And then once that dries, you can pull the lid off and burn it. And that's it. So easy for you, easy for kids to get involved in something like this. So if you like this, please send likes, please send hearts. Please share this with anyone who might be interested in this. You can share it on your own page. You can share it on friends' page. We're going to move to the next project. And then I'm going to tell you a little something that I did with these. All right, so I'm going to let him dry. I'm going to move him aside, and we're going to move on to this mug. And actually we have two mugs, but we're going to start with this one. So there are several options you can use on mugs. This mug just came from Dollar Tree, so really inexpensive, and you're going to tip it over. Again, you can use a permanent marker, a Sharpie, you can use paint markers, or you can use glass paints for this. It's kind of whatever you're most comfortable with. And then again, you'll just draw on a face of your choice. And some things last longer than others. So if you have a tip on one that you've had good experience with, please share that in the comments for everyone. What kind of face would you make on your mug? Would it be scary? Would it be happy? Would it be silly? Put that in the comments. I do read the comments, so if you have questions about anything I'm doing, go ahead and put that in the comments, and when I get a chance, I will come back and read and try to answer anybody's questions that they have. And then I like reading the ideas you share as well. So many of you give me tips and I learn from you, so thank you in advance for all your kind words and sharing all your helpful information. So there we go. We have just a little pumpkin mug. And then on the back, you can write something. So if you have, while I'm doing the next cup, tell me what I should write on the back of this. Put some ideas there, and we'll see if what I write is the same as something you would write, or maybe if there's a majority vote, we will move forward. So this cup is actually from Walmart, and it's 88 cents. And then again, you just go in and you make your face on it. Now I know a lot of people like ghost mouths, so what kind of mouth would you draw on your ghost? I like just the eyes. It kind of reminds me in Charlie Brown, I think. He either has all the holes all over him, or there's just other ghosts that just have the eyes on it. So there we go. Now we have a pumpkin and we have a ghost. And then on the back side, you just write something fun. You can either write a person's name, like on this one here. I'm just gonna go ahead and write Boo on the back of that one. Okay, have we seen any things of what I should maybe write on the back of this mug? Did anybody have any suggestions?
One said, "Good morning, pumpkin."
Oh, I love that.
Happy Halloween.
I've done that one. That one's good. I'm going to write pumpkin spice. Who likes pumpkin spice? If you like pumpkin spice, send those hearts and send those likes. I like pumpkin spice a lot. I eat, what are the things you eat that are pumpkin spice and drink? Because obviously there's the coffees and the teas and all that delicious stuff. But is there something out there that's pumpkin spice that you have tried this year that is to die for? I like the shredded wheat. I think it's delicious. Okay, now to preserve these mugs, what you do. So that was that easy. One of the things I do suggest is that you wash your mug first, then you take just like an alcohol prep pad or just a cotton ball with some alcohol on it, just to clean it off before you do this drawing on it, because that preserves, cleans all the oils off the mug before you get started. You take these mugs now, you place them inside your oven, turn your oven on to 350. It's cold, don't preheat it, stick them in there when it's cold, turn it on to 350, let it heat up, put it on 30 minutes. So from the time you put these in there, put it on for 30 minutes. When it gets to 30 minutes and your timer goes off, just turn it off, don't take them out, leave them in. So again, that's 30 minutes from cold all the way to the timer ends at 350. Then let it cool all the way down off. So don't take them out until they cool all the way off. And that kind of heat sets in, that marker, that paint, whatever you're using. Make sure they're good and dry before you put them in there as well. That's really important. So if you like the mugs, please send likes, please send hearts. Please share this with anyone else who might want to learn these little tips on party ideas. Now last year what I did with this is I had a little movie morning with some friends of mine. We called it Mom's Movie Morning. And I made them each a mug, and we drank coffee and cider and tea out of it, and then they each got to take home their mug and their candle. And that's just a little something I did last year with my friends. And we watched, of course, a scary movie. What's your favorite scary movie or not so scary movie? Put it in the comments, and we'll come back to these, but we're gonna move on. Okay, this one's just fun, just silly and just fun. And you have two options. These are just window clings, and you can either use a dry erase marker or a permanent marker. So if you use a dry erase marker, you'll be able to erase and do this again. And if you use permanent, of course, it's permanent. So this one's a great one. I always do this with my kids every year pretty much. And I just give them each their own sheet, give them a marker, and tell them to go to town. Now, if you have little ones, the dry erase marker, of course, is a better option. Those washable markers might work, but sometimes they bead up and then they're really slippery. So that's why the dry erase marker is really good. And you can get them in several colors. So all you're gonna do is give it to them and then just tell them to go have some fun. So then they're gonna go in and they're gonna just draw on their pumpkin and get creative on how they wanna do it. So like this one, I use the stem as the nose. This one here, I might make him a little grumpy. And then maybe he's this way, right? This is his hair and that's his face that way. So you just go in and you let them just go have a really good time with making faces. And what they can come up with is pretty fun. And they have a good time. So you're just gonna go like that. Let them go have fun. And again, the dry erase, just to give you an example here with the dry erase. So here you go. I'm going upside down, so bear with me. There we go. So he's made a face, and then you hang it up, and then later, maybe they want to come back and do it again. So then, they get to go make a new face, and then they can just come up, and you hang them on your windows, and your kids go to town. And then say your kid accidentally goes, whoops, and draws on the window. Well, guess what? No problem. Dry erase markers come off of windows too. So the dry erase markers are really great for using ongoing creativity throughout the month. But these are great. You can put them in your cars. You can put them on your windows. Just wherever you put, I'm going to put some of these ones that my kids have made just so you can see some of the creativity that kids have when they're doing this for you to see. But what are some of the places you've used window clings? Where have you used window clings that are maybe just besides doing the normal window? So that's some of their window clings that they've done. And then if you save them, just maybe put a piece of paper towel between them so that the marker doesn't stick to each one. Now the same concept can be applied. They sell these magnets at the dollar store as well. And you can do the same thing with these. Just go in and then make faces on the magnets, and then they can put them on the refrigerators. And then a lot of times come with different other fall things. So then tell them to make some fun little like people out of them. Maybe they've got a skirt, and just tell them to have fun with that and get them creative on the refrigerator, and they can do lots of cool stuff. So if you like these ideas, please send likes, please send hearts, please share this with somebody else or on your own page, who might like to do something like this with either kids, grandkids, or nieces and nephews, or neighbor kids, or heck, I like doing stuff like this too. If you like doing fun stuff like this, please send some hearts. Let me move these out of the way, and then we will get moving on to the next project. So as I'm moving them, how many of you guys have hosted Halloween parties? And what's something fun that you have made at a Halloween party? What was something that went really well? Put that in the comments. We all need more ideas. It's that time of year where we all need new ideas. Okay, fun tip. This is just a little side tip for everyone. This is a mini pumpkin that I grew in my garden. One of the things I did for my kids, I was a room parent for their classrooms for 10 years and the room parent coordinator for their school. I would grow these every year and bring them in for them to decorate, all the kids in the classroom. And one of the things I've done over the years is try different things, what works, what doesn't, on pumpkins. And many of you know, if you've tried, washable paints don't stick. Washable markers don't stay on. So what's something that's kid-friendly that can go on these? Because we all know Sharpies were great, but maybe you've got a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old that maybe can't do that. So one of the really great things, again, dry erase markers. Again, just goes on really easy, super easy, and then stays on. And then again, if you did need to wipe it off, you can just wipe it off with a damp cloth, but that will dry on there really nicely. So if they do bump it later, it doesn't come off super easy. So again, really great for younger kids. If you need an alternative, dry erase markers. And they come in lots of colors, as you know, so you can let them go to town and have a really good time. Acrylic paints work really well too. However, be careful that stuff, if it gets on their clothes, that doesn't come out very easy. That's more of a permanent stuff. All right, another quick little thing before we move on to the one I'm really, really excited about. I'm really excited about the next one because it's going to light up. But let me just do, every classroom needs a snack. So what better than to do a craft and snack at the same time? And you know teachers, they usually like it to be kind of healthy. So this is just one of those kitchen gloves. And then I'm going to stick a candy corn into each finger spot. And if you've done this before and you have tips, please put them in the notes. Please share. Any of those questions are great. Okay, so I got candy corns in all the fingers, and now I've got popcorn. If you're in a classroom, they will not let you make homemade popcorn. They will want you to use, you know, the microwave popcorn or the bagged popcorn because of all the health codes and everything now. So you will need to use something else other than homemade stuff. And then you just have, you can either have these prepped for snack or you can have them make it, your choice. And they're just gonna squeeze the popcorn into the fingers and fill it up like this. And teachers won't mind. I mean, sometimes they are like, oh no, popcorn makes a big mess. But ultimately, this is a healthier snack. And a lot of times teachers will request not just having all junk food in the classroom. All right, so then you've got your little snack, and they can either go to town and eat it right away, or just grab a ribbon or a string or a rubber band, whatever's easiest for the kids that you are working with. Tie it closed, and there you go. You've got yourself a little Halloween mummy hand or whatever, skeleton hand, whatever you want to call it, and you've got a nice little snack for your kids that's healthy, that the teachers will be pretty excited about. All right, so if you like that, send likes and hearts. Please share this with anyone else who might enjoy this idea. And we're gonna move on to my next project, which I'm pretty darn excited about. So, moving that aside, I'm first gonna get some wax paper out just to protect my table, and you'll see why as we move forward on this, because this one's gonna make me a little messy. All right, then you're gonna need a ping pong ball like that, and they sell these often like 6 or 8 for $1 at the dollar store. Now I've got a little X-Acto knife, so if you have kids, you'll prep all these, because when I've done this for the schools before, we prepped all these, or my kids too, unless they're older and they can do it because you trust them. But you're just going to reach in there and you're going to make a little X in the ping pong ball, and that's a little hard to read, but it's an X you're just making in there, like that. Okay. What is the best classroom party you remember? What was so cool about it? I have a flicker tea light candle, one of those battery operated ones, which has a tab in it. So let's test it to make sure that it works. Pull the tab out. Yep, it works. Okay, great. So in the comments, tell me what your best classroom party memory is. Now I'm going to take that little X, this is where I put it, I'm going to put it on top, just like that, so it's all one piece. Taking a permanent marker or dry erase, I'm going to make my ghost face on. You can make a ghost mouth, you can do whatever you want. Now you can do this second too, but for this I'm going to do it first. And then I'm going to get a little bowl and just some good old school glue, Elmer school glue. I'm going to pour that in there. Next, I'm going to just need a gauze pad. And they sell these at the dollar store as well. So when you need to do 30 classroom projects, or depending on how many kids are coming over to your house or how many friends are coming over to make this, you want to be able to do it for an affordable price. And the package, I have to be smarter than the package. Okay, so there's my gauze pad, and I'm just going to go ahead and open it up. Take out that tissue paper, you don't need that. If you want it to be smaller, you can cut a little smaller, but there it is all open up, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in the glue and get it all wet, and then I'm going to squeeze out the extra. Okay, keep sharing ideas of things that you have done for Halloween parties with your friends, with kids, so we can learn from you. All right, he is good and coated with glue, this gauze is. And so now I'm gonna set it right over the top of my flicker, tea light, and ping pong ball, and then I'm just gonna start shaping it. However you want. Maybe you want it to look like it's trailing, but you're gonna just bring it like this so it's gonna shape however you want it. Trailing off. You want his face to be good and lit. Like that, and you just maybe squish it up in there. There you go. So I'm gonna wipe my hands off because they're full of glue. And then you're gonna let that dry. Whoops. You're gonna let that dry. Depending upon how much glue is on there will determine how fast it dries. We usually make them at our house and then we let them sit overnight just to be safe. And then they get nice and hard when they dry, which is great. And wax paper is wonderful because then it will peel right off when you're done. So this one's wet, so I'm gonna move him aside, but I will show you my daughter's that she made. So here it is. And my daughter is who's recording today too. So he's all stiff and hard, and we're gonna turn him on. And there he is. So he's flickering, and you just set him there, or you can maybe even put a little string on him and make him float. If you wanted to make them so they float up in the air, you could definitely add some string to them and use them so they float. So if you like that, please send likes, please send hearts. Please share this with anyone else that might be interested. And again, that doesn't have to stop just there. You can definitely go further with these, and you know, like maybe there's a kid that doesn't want to make the ghost. So this one I've already cut with the X-Acto knife, right? I've got a couple more. So there are other ideas. What are some other ideas you can think of that you could do with this shape? Put it in the comments. Share some ideas of some other things you could do. So of course there's the traditional pumpkin, right? And then in the evening this will look a little orange. You could add some stripes to him. You could do some different things like that. You might make an eyeball, which now I'm wishing I had my red Sharpie with me. But maybe you're making an eyeball, and then you take your red Sharpie and you make all the little veins and different things that come out, and you've got an eyeball. So imagine there's little red squigglies on that. Or this is another one my daughter made, which is a skeleton. So there's just so many possibilities with this simple concept. And again, it's super inexpensive. So if you like this, please send likes, please send hearts, please share this. It helps us when you share it with others, and I appreciate it. Keep those comments flowing in, and we'll recap everything we've made today as you finish putting those comments in for me to read later. So we made all these little simple ping pong guys on the flicker candle tea lights. And again, there's just so many options, and just use those markers, use those dry erase markers. We mentioned using dry erase markers as an option on the pumpkins. We made window cling fun. Had a good time with some window clings. We made the popcorn snack. We made mugs. And again, all this stuff is super inexpensive, and we made the candles. So again, dollar store, dollar store, dollar store. All this stuff kind of came from the dollar store. Even the little kitchen gloves came from the dollar store. So all of this super easy, great for parties, and I hope that you will do some of these things. So again, please like, please heart, please share. And I want to thank all of you for being here today, and thank you for all your comments in advance. And thank you for the emojis. I love those. And thank you, Hometalk, for having me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you next week. Bye.